Okay, we're starting project 4, the decision-making process. And so we're going to take a look at what we want to do there. We're using Google Docs on this one. Just going to move that out of the way a tiny bit. And scrolling down. And so the first thing we did here is we opened a new Google Doc. Step 2, do not worry about renaming the document. I've got that taken care of. Step 3 just reminds us to look at the image once you start putting in the data. So step 4 is where our instructions really start. And the first thing they tell us in step 4 is to insert a 3 by 6 table, 3 column, 6 row. So insert table, 3 columns, coming down to 6 rows. And there we go, 3 by 6. You see the path. Good. Okay, resize the columns as shown. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and select columns 1 and 2, and both of these, so now I selected them simply by taking the cursor, pressing it down in the middle of one of the cells, dragging over, and now I've selected these cells. Remember to stay inside the table as you do that. Then I'm going to put my cursor over a cell, I'm going to right click. I'm going to come down here to table properties, and it tells me to make those 2 columns 1 inch wide. 1. Okay. There we go. Now it tells us column 3 should be 4.5 inches. It already should be, but we'll just double check and do that too. Right click, table properties, column width, 4.5, 4.5, and okay. There we go. Okay, resize the minimum row height as follows. Row 1, so I'm going to select all of row 1 this time. I'm going to right click, table properties, and minimum row height, they want that set to 0.5, 1/2 inch. Okay. And then we want rows 2 through 6 at 1.25 inches, 1 1/4. So I selected all these. You saw how I did that. I simply went like that. And that's because it was already selected. There we go. And I'm going to right click on it again. Table properties, minimum row height, and I said 1.25. And okay. Okay, so now we've set our row with height and width. Now, format the text alignment for the entire table as center aligned. So I'm just going to come to this cell right here. I'm just going to select everything on this table, just like that. Don't do that. You see how I'm down below this? Make sure you're always in the table while you're working in the table. Center aligned. That's what they want. Okay. Key in the text as shown. So we notice that this is in bold, so we're just going to go ahead and click on bold real fast, another way of doing it, and step number. And you see that they hit enter. Actually, interesting enough, they have the caps lock on, so we'll do that. Enter. That's a shifted 3. And I can come over to the cell here and action. And interesting enough, that didn't show up as bold, so I'm just going to click on that and make that bold. Good. And on this one, and describe your action. I wanted to also show something else, and I had the mouse in my hand when I did that. I can move through the cells also by pressing Tab and Shift Tab. Shift Tab moves you to the left, Tab moves you to the right, just to make sure that you're aware of that. Okay, describe your action as it applies to your problem. Okay. Okay, so that one's in bold, and you can see that this is wrapped around the way I did. That was very simple. Just at the end of the word action, I hit enter and went around that way. Okay, so now we're going to put these in. Step 1. And here I hit the tab key to move over to find the problem. And here I got to remember to hit enter problem. Okay. Now, enter. Oh. And this one right here. Had to actually click. 2. And no, they don't have a space. They do it that way. Okay, back. I thought they did it differently. 2. Okay, and gather information. And I'm going to continue doing it this way, and you can do it as you see this in your book. So I'm going to sort of shut this off for a few minutes, and I'll type it in. Okay, and for option 1, option 2, they tell us to go ahead and make and left align those again for those two words. Option 1, don't forget to underline that. So I'm going to select it and Control U to underline. Oops, Control Z because somehow I messed up. Control U. There we go. Underline. I'm just going to hit enter a couple of times here. That was 3 times. Option 2. And the reason why it's underlined still is because I turned on underline. I never actually turned it off. Okay, so here I'm just going to go ahead and left align that. Option 1, option 2. And I'm just going to go ahead and, like I said, underline these two. Control U. And again, I can just click on underline up here also for underlining. Okay, let's go back and see what else they want us to do. That was step number 4. There's got to be more. Okay, key in the, well, that was step number 8. Be sure to bold and underline the text and use all caps as shown. Go back and review the scenario and complete the 5-step decision-making process by keying in your own actions and final decision into column 3. Okay, so what we're telling you to do here is now that you've done this is the keyboarding part. Now you need to go back and actually look at the process here. Up here, then that was, I'm going to drag that over real quick so you guys see what I'm talking about. Okay, and that was, let me grab this over here. Come on. That was this part right here, okay? The decision-making process, making financial decisions, just so you're aware of what they are asking you to do, okay? And that was the reading. That was the very beginning of this assignment, of this being Unit 1, Project 4. And I'm going to scroll down and again read that to you. So go back and review the scenario. Then complete the 5-step decision-making process by keying in your actions and final decisions into 3, okay? So here you have to figure out exactly what the problem is. Something isn't working, don't have enough, those types of things, they're not clear enough. What exactly isn't working? Then you'll gather information about 2 basic things that you could do to address this problem. Evaluate them, which one, what are the 2 options that you've come up with, and what do you think of those? Don't forget when you start typing here, just to let you know, like I hit space bar and start typing, see that it's still set to underline. I just want to remind you to turn that off. Oops, that was the wrong button. I clicked on the one next to one I wanted. Okay, and I want to get rid of the word typing here. So that really was it for Project 4. Project 4 was a pretty easy and quick one.